Test, test.
Test.
Test. Everyone joining in, we'll be starting in 1 minute. Hi everyone, welcome to Hydrogen Demo Day for April 2019. Thank you for everyone who's joining around the world, wherever you are in the US. And my name is Matthew Kane. I'm one of the founders of Hydrogen. I'm joined by my team here, and we're going to be doing this pretty often to showcase a lot of the new functionality and features that are available to our current and prospective clients and partners as well on the Hydrogen platform. So just to give you a very brief rundown on what we'll be demoing today. And most of these demos will only take a few minutes. We'll try to keep this moving quickly and going through each one. I'll be introducing each demoer as we get to the relevant section. So you see here we have 10 different demos today. The first one is of our Element React library. The second of our financial calculators that you can embed on your website. The third is of a white label digital advice platform that we are putting out. The fourth is access controls to permission sensitive information using the Hydrogen APIs. The fifth is our new quick start guide available in our developer documentation. The sixth is our SDKs, the client libraries, and our Postman collection to help you develop a lot faster and more efficiently. The seventh is one of our latest releases in our Proton API that will help you build a financial planning suite. The eighth is a new feature of ours on our Molecule platform. We're gonna give you a sneak peek of how you could potentially tokenize assets and also allow investors to buy and sell them and trade them. The ninth is our new certified partner program that allows partners around the world to become certified on the Hydrogen platform APIs and technology. And the last one is we're going to have our great sales team here showcase some of the solutions that you might not even know about that you could use Hydrogen for. So without further ado, we're going to start with our first demo, and this will be Rachel, an engineer here, will be the title of this demo is Rapid UI Prototyping Using the Element React Library. So I'm going to have Rachel come over here and take it away.
Hi, today we'll be showing you how you can build functional, beautiful user interfaces with our reusable React components. I'll first pass the mic off to Siraj, our lead designer who designed the React component library.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Siraj. I'm the head of design here at Hydrogen, along with Sofia, who's the UX designer. And we've been working on a Element UI kit that has some base components for you to easily create some financial products. So in this Element UI kit, which you can download from our Hydrogen platform website, it contains certain elements like buttons, input fields, different visualizations, and other components that allow you to easily create some digital solutions and onboarding, including onboarding, dashboards, and analytics. And so we were able to develop these into React components, and Rachel will go ahead and demo that right now.
Sure. So let me dive into the code that contains our UI components built on top of the React framework, which is a JavaScript framework for building user interfaces. So we'll look at two examples. One is a callout. When you click on the action item button, you open a modal. And just to sort of get a feel to how you can play with these components, we're going to edit the code right now. So instead of, for example, alerting with primary, we'll say, hey, this is Rachel. So now when we click on action item 1, it says, hey, this is Rachel. So So it's just an example of how easily you can customize these components on top of your financial applications. One other example that I will show you is the horizontal bar graph that we also have built out here. And so instead of, for example, title savings progress, we'll mark savings progress bar chart. And it will automatically customize this bar graph component for you, given these various inputs that you put in. So that concludes the end of this section for demoing the UI components. We'll pass it off to the next person.
Thank you, Rachel. To reiterate, so we have quite a lot of components here. So if you're able to download our sketch kit, if you go to our website on the products on the top, you could go to the element UI kit, which is the page one now. You could download this UI kit in Sketch, and which is what Siraj and Rachel were showing you. And essentially all of those components that Rachel showed you here in the Sketch UI kit are developed in actual React JavaScript code. And then you could put those together and make any of these dashboards or analytics here. Those would all assemble together like puzzle pieces, like Lego pieces. And you could quickly build and rapidly iterate on prototypes. So that's the first demo. Thank you, Rachel. The next demo will be Sabih, product manager here. And he will show you how you can embed powerful financial tools and calculators into your website. So Sabih, I'll let you take it away from here.
Hello, everyone. This is Sabih. So right now on the Hydrogen API, we offer a number of endpoints which can be used to calculate for your financial health or your financial planning. And we have built a UI on top of those endpoints, which help you calculate your progress or allow you to plan for various goals that you may have. These tools can be embedded onto your website and can be used to help encourage users to open multiple accounts or open additional accounts on your service, or maybe their retirement goals or their house purchase goals or their education goals. So these are very simple calculators, but can really help users understand the value of setting specific goals and understanding how much they need to be depositing and contributing to meet those goals. So an example here, we are right now on the mortgage calculator. So you can see on this dropdown, there are many options depending on what question the user wants answered, whether they're trying to determine how much they can afford for their house or how much of a large payment they need for the house that they're looking at. There are lots of different options that you can select on the dropdown, and then they can simply just enter the values that they have in mind into the calculator, and then everything will be recalculated for the user. So for example, if I want to increase my monthly mortgage payment, that will show you how much that will reduce my down payment by. In this case, it reduces it too low. So if you, for example, want to reduce it, it will show you that now I have to make a much larger mortgage payment. We also have, for example, retirement calculators where you can plug in your current and retirement age, as well as the age that you expect to live to in terms of your retirement, and then have a lot of different assumptions that you can plan for, like the portfolio return and the inflation rate. So for here, for example, we have this chart on this side, which shows you, the values that you can expect your account to grow to by every year. And then at the very top, this person who will retire in 30 years, so 2019 plus 30, 2049, would have approximately $900,000 plus change, and this is the amount that their account would continue to decrease by in retirement. So you can, plug in information from a lot of other sources. For example, if you were expecting income from your pension or Social Security, you can decide to increase or adjust for that and determine how much you need to be saving every year for retirement. So you can see all the information changes, and you can have a detailed understanding of how much you'd be contributing to the account and how much the account would grow by due to investment returns. And similar to other calculators, you can choose depending on what your specific question is. We also have an education calculator if you are saving for someone's need to go to college or any other education expense. You can see that here we have parameters for how much the education will cost per year and how many years that expenditure is for, as well as assumptions that we have on the other calculators, increases in education costs due to inflation and other things like the return on inflation. And you can see, we have various questions, what education expenses I can afford. It once again shows you similarly how much you'll have at the peak right before you start to withdraw, and how much you will be able to afford in this case, depending on the amount they have saved and the amount they plan to contribute, which is $8,000 per year. They can afford $52,000 per year in education expenses. If you, for example, reduce the periodic payment to $5,000, that will then reduce the amount they can afford. We also have a simple savings calculator. If you are saving without a specific goal in mind, so for example, you want to save for something in 20 years, you plug in all of your assumptions into this, and then it will tell you how much your savings will be after a time period. All of these goals, are helpful for someone who is starting to plan out their goal for mortgage, retirement, or savings. We also have a goal status endpoint once they're already onboarded, once they already have their account, to figure out, if they are on or off track to meet their goal. So here, for example, we have someone, who's trying to determine if they're on track for retirement based on their current age, retirement age, and their expected life expectancy. So you can see this person who is currently contributing $400 per month is currently off track, and that they need to increase their recurring deposits by a significant amount to be on track. So for example, if we add another 0, this person then has a 100% chance of meeting their goals. Similar concept with education and major personal savings. You can track how far along you are, and you can have a very specific percentage based on our Monte Carlo simulations that which are done using similar assumptions that we're using with the other calculators for returns and inflation and portfolio risk. So you can see that there's a recommendation for how much you need to increase your deposit by, as well as more information on contributions and earnings that you'll have. So we have these similar calculators for our major purchases and yellow savings. So you can very easily plug in any of these calculators to onboard people and open more accounts, and then use these goal status tracking endpoints to help deposit more money or inform them on how much they're on track to meet their financial goals.
Great, thanks, Sabih. Very great demo, thank you. So the next demo that we have up is also more on the UI side. So you already heard from one of these individuals, Siraj. We're also in Siraj Sofia, UX designer, and they're going to show you how to customize a white label onboarding and private site for your digital advice app. So take it away.
Hey everyone, it's Siraj and
Sophia, and we're going to show you how to go through our onboarding flow for goals-based investing.
Yep, so in addition to our Element UI kit that we developed, we also created a front-to-end user experience for onboarding a client and helping them determine their financial goals and achieving their financial goals. So the first thing on our onboarding is the client will select their financial goal. Then they're able to customize it by inputting when they expect to retire and what their goal is in terms of saving for retirement. Then they'll be able to select the type of account that they like to open. And so on the right-hand side, we have a dynamic portfolio that updates based off of the questionnaire and the answers that the client answers. So they can enter the total net worth, their annual income. We also have the ability to add alternate investing to the questionnaire. So this would also affect the portfolio that they are recommended. And once they get through these questions, they're then asked some risk-based questions that also affects the portfolio that they'd be allocated to. And at the end, they're shown a brief overview over about their goal and what their goal wants, what they want their goal to be. And then in addition to that, what their portfolio is. So once they click Open My Accounts, they're then taken to an account application.
So now we will collect their personal details, have them fill out a simple flow and get their social security number and employment information, if they're related to anyone in the financial industry. From there, we have our account opening agreement. They are able to agree, sign here, and then their account is successfully opened. And now we will collect their funding information. So we have the option to deposit cash or to transfer their account. So using a Plaid integration, you can link account instantly. So let's say I want to fund with my Citibank account. I can simply log in and choose my checking account with Citi and continue. So from here, my Citibank account is now linked and I can deposit using this bank account anytime after this. So let's say I want to deposit $1,000, I'll click that. And then once my account has been successfully funded and invested, we will be able to see my dashboard.
So we've designed multiple versions of this dashboard. The ones that we'll demo right now is a goals-based dashboard, but we also have a non-goals dashboard as well. So once they've funded their account, they're taken to this view where it shows them a brief overview of their current status in terms of the total balance and earnings. They could either deposit more funds or open a new account. Right below, it shows their projected asset growth, and they can also see a visualization that shows their balance over a certain period of time. Right below, they can see a brief overview of their current goal, which is retirement, the accounts that are assigned to that goal, and whether they've made any deposits to any of their accounts. So if they clicked on retirement goal, they'll be taken to another overview of their retirement, which shows them goal details, whether they're on track to meet their goal. They could also adjust their goal details, and it also gives them more information about their account. But if they want to dig deeper into what their account looks like, they're able to select Siraj's accounts right here, in which case they're shown their portfolio that they're currently allocated to. They can make adjustments to the allocation if they want to change their risk level, which would then impact their portfolio, or if they also just want to see how their account is doing. So we also have the ability to have support if they need to chat for whatever reason and get more information about the funding status or anything like that, or if they want to go ahead and click overview and go back to see all of their goals. And a lot of this is customizable, so we used a lot of our base components from our Element UI kit to make these designs. So yeah, that's basically it.
So we're now going to hand it off to our next person.
Good. Thanks to our awesome design team. That was a great demo. Next up, we have a very interesting new addition to our platform. We're going to have Ilyana and Jessica show you how to permission sensitive data in your application using our access controls.
Hello, everyone. This is Jess Ilyana here. So as Matt mentioned, we'll be talking about the new implementation of data access controls. Prior to implementing this, the user would normally sign into the platform using their client credentials. So having now implemented this, the user can sign in with all these separate authorities, which adds a little more specificity to the approach. We have all these resources on the website. If you go to Nucleus under resources, you'll see it's the very first thing, authorities, and it will link you to this data guide right here. So to break it down a little further, we have these authorities available right now. The reason that we've assigned these authorities is because with each one, moving from super admin, which is the most overarching access to clients, which is the most specific one, they break down what endpoints each authority can use and then what records within the database the authority can access, view, or edit. So as I mentioned, the highest one is super admin, and then it just cascades further down to a more specific client. Within those authorities, we have even further breakdown, specifically with client and advisor. So these specific permission types allow for different interactions between the client and the account within that authority. And these are the different permission types that you have: inquire access, limited authority, full authority, and power of attorney. So I will hand it over now to Ilyana, who will give us a sample of this.
Hi, everyone. This is Ilyana. So I'm going to be doing a quick demo of creating clients and creating an account and assigning 2 different clients to it with 2 different permission types and displaying what kind of abilities those 2 permission types have on the endpoints and the type of data that it gets back to that account that it was assigned to. So for the first step, we're going to create a client in the admin service. So for the purpose of this demo, we've already created it, but the post request would need to have the authorities, and within this field, you would assign what the role is. So we've created a username and a password and authority of a role client. And we've created a few before this. And then the next step is within the Nucleus service is creating that same client, and the key is to maintain the same username so that when you're actually authenticating as that client, you would be able to look up the username and password and find that you're actually a client within Nucleus. So we have 2, username client at mail and client 2 at mail. So an example of creating an access token through grant type password is you would hit the authorization service and use a grant type password, pass in your username, pass in your password, and you would get back a token. And this is what you would be using to authenticate your access to Nucleus itself. So the next step, I'm going to create an account, and through this authorization, I'm going to do it through a super admin access. So I've already created a token for that. I'm going to post an account, and within that account, I'm going to assign that client 1 and client 2. One is a owner and one is a viewer. After posting it, you get the account ID back. It's a successful post. And to show what kind of permissions those 2 clients have to that account, we are going to call on the account permission endpoint for that specific account that we created with the same super admin permission. And we can see that client 1 has inquiry access and client 2 has inquiry access and client 1 has full authority. And that's the owner with full authority and the viewer with inquiry access. So now we're going to try and add a goal as a viewer. So within the body, we're going to add a goal to the account that we just created, and the authorization is going to be through a client viewer.
and you're going to get an access back that says it's unauthorized. Now, if you're going to try and add a goal as the owner through a client owner permission, this will allow you to do so. And for a client level role, you're not allowed to delete your own account. So if I tried to delete it as a client viewer or a client owner, I would get back an error. I'm unauthorized to do this. Now, the only way that I can delete an account is through the super admin role. So I'm going to go in here, click super admin, try to delete this account. It says 204, which is correct. And then I'm going to try and get it just to prove that it doesn't exist anymore. 404 not found. So that concludes our demo. If you want to have a full list of the authorities and the permissions and what type of endpoints and what type of data records it gets, it's all within the document that Jess just went through, which you can find on the online documentation resources.
Thank you, ladies. Very, very nice. And to show you again how you would get to our documentation. So everything is on our developer section. If you go to our website on the top, developers, and then click Atom API reference, you'll see that all of our documentation is public, and we're very transparent with all of our APIs. So that's a good segue to myself. I'm the next presenter. I'm going to quickly show you our new quick start guide on Atom, also in our developer documentation, and show you how that would help you learn the basics of Hydrogen and build an app very quickly. So again, on our developer section, you'll see that we have all of our documentation listed, as well as quick start guides, libraries, which will be one of the next presentations as well. So if you click on Atom quick start guide, this is what I'm going to show you right now. So essentially, if you're starting out on Hydrogen, you'll be able to sign up, get free keys into our sandbox. Once you do that, we would highly recommend that all developers go through the quick start. Really what this does is just gives you a good overall understanding of our APIs. So a quick introduction shows you all the different APIs, what they do, different entities within the API and how they're related to each other. So you'll be able to read that. Authentication, which is something that was just demoed in the last demo. So we have two different OAuth 2 authentication methods, client credentials and password. This explains to you how that works. Also, you'll see in the quick start guide, we do have quite a lot of examples. So this is really in logical order. You would want to go through all this in order, read the intro, learn about the entities, learn how to authenticate. Once you have a good base and you really are hitting our APIs, as we just showed you, if you wanted to do it in something like Postman, right, or if you just are actually starting to build an application, you could do that as well. So the first part of our quick start guide is onboarding a client. So creating accounts of clients and signing up clients. So we show you that here. We have very simple examples. Now these could be much more complex. As you go through our docs, you'll see that there's quite a lot of information you could collect from people. For the purpose of this guide, we tried to keep it simple. So you see here we have a client getting signed up as well as an account being created. And all of this is in order where you would have to create in this logical order for the API to be able to reference certain IDs. You'll notice that here that there are IDs that have to be created, such as an account type ID to create an account. So really what we've broken down is we have, Hydrogen allows you to create savings, investing, as well as insurance and financial wellness applications. So right now, this guide is broken down into those different verticals and segments in the fintech ecosystem. So the one I'm going to go through with you very quickly is the savings and investing. So you'll see here that it's really in an order of how you would onboard a client, from the investment profile to then setting up a portfolio if you wanted to recommend a portfolio. So if you had a questionnaire, as Siraj and Sofia showed you on our white label, onboarding a client, recommending them a portfolio. So here we would have that questionnaire, and we have a very simple questionnaire with 3 different portfolios here. And then we have this example request here, setting up securities and models in our APIs. We have a very sophisticated model management and portfolio management system within the Nucleus APIs themselves. So you see that here, that we're allowing you to set up securities, models, and also models of models if you wanted to have a more sophisticated offering. The next section is optional if you wanted to have a goals-based investing or savings or planning application for your clients. We do have quite a large library there and very sophisticated offering for goals-based investing. So we're just showing you here how you would set up the goals for the firm, and as well as onboard clients and assign various accounts to goals. And then the last few steps we have here are a little bit more interactive, where we're showing you actual UIs. Now you also could get these UIs from the Element UI kit that we have on Sketch, as well as potentially some of the React components that we'll be putting out very shortly. So you see that here, we just show you step by step how you would pull some of this data. So now you have all the data in the APIs, you have some of the UI, you have your app set up. Now you actually can build a more interactive application. And that's really the beauty of our APIs, is that they allow you to really orchestrate and pull a lot of these different elements together into a fully functioning app. And just the last few sections will show you if you wanted to go even further, funding account, investing account, and also as well, pulling in investment analytics. So if you wanted to show an account analytics dashboard, we do have a demo here as well. So we have a few demos on our documentation that Rachel and our great design and front-end team put together. So this is an example. Everything here is pulled dynamically from our APIs. This is all written in React and JavaScript as well. So that concludes my demo. I encourage everyone to check out this on our online docs, again, on our developers section on the top of our website. So to move on to the next presenter, sticking with the developer theme, we have Dan from our financial engineering team, and he's going to show you some of our new SDKs and Postman collections to help you make development and testing a breeze. So Dan, please take it away.
All right, so once you've gone through the quick start guide and you're familiar with the different schemas and entities in our API, you can start developing a client library in any sort of language that you want. So right now we have JavaScript, Python, Ruby, and Java client SDKs posted publicly on GitHub. So for example, if I wanted to start making a Python client library, I click this link and be taken to the SDK page, which will show you how to install the SDK in your language, as well as how to make some sample requests and full documentation for each endpoint. So really the advantage of using an SDK would be you have various types defined for each request. So for example, if I wanted to get an account status in Nucleus, here's an example request, and it'll tell me what parameters I can place in the URL. Like I can place an account status ID, and each request payload and response has a defined schema with types. So it's very safe to use in your language and understandable as a developer. For example, I've installed the Atom SDK for Python in this environment, and I can import it via Atom API. Authentication can be done in one of two ways in each language. First, it's just passing the raw access token that you've got from Postman or any other method, and then the other way is to fetch an access token. So you can actually pass in your client credentials here, and it'll fetch the token and use it in all the requests for you. So I just wrote up a quick example here where we're fetching all of the securities for an account. So I've given it a token, and it's going to create an instance of the Nucleus API and fetch all of the tickers that I have in my account. And then it's going to use the Proton API to find a portfolio optimization score with those tickers. So this just gives a quick example of how we can use the SDK to pass data around in a program and really add a good orchestration layer for Nucleus and Proton. So if I wanted to run this, I could simply do free Swagger. Okay, so it's made the call to Nucleus and it's returning, a list with all of my securities. From that, I can extract all the tickers and then pass those tickers into Proton and get a nice portfolio optimization score down here. And then another advantage of using the SDK over curl would be I can take that response and do what I want with it. So each field is going to be an object basically within that response. So if I wanted to get the current portfolio, I could do something like current portfolio and be able to fetch it that way. So it's just an easy way to pass data around from one endpoint to another and make developers' lives a little bit easier. We also released the Postman collection, which is basically a mirror of what we have in our docs with all of the endpoints and example requests. So if I go to that Postman collection, you'll see it as Hydrogen Atom API here. And first thing you want to do is get your authorization. So I just set up OAuth2, and I've set it up with an access token. I can go to, let's say, Nucleus and get all of the, let's say, securities. Okay, so, I can change any of the parameters here and get a list of all the securities in my account. So that's pretty much it for the developer tools that we released, and we'll be updating these as we release any new endpoints, and we'll keep you posted.
Great, thank you, Dan. Okay, moving along here, we have a few demos left. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in. Hopefully you're finding these very useful. And as a reminder, there'll be a playback after this as well. If you're interested in any of these demos, you could always take a look at the video or email us at the end of the session, and we'd be happy to walk you through any of these in more detail. Okay, so one of our other members of our financial engineering team, Shane, was up next, and he's going to show you one of our new releases and how you would power a financial advisory practice with some of our new financial planning tools. So Shane could take it away from here.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm going to be speaking a little bit about Proton, which is the part of our Atom platform that handles financial modeling and analysis. I'm going to be speaking specifically about some new features that we've recently released that can help you power financial advisory platform. So what I'll show first is the raw API services that you would use on the back end that do the calculations and would generate the numbers that a front end would then be able to consume. And at the end, I'll give an example of how these things might be incorporated into the front end of a digital wealth platform. So these tools that I'm going to go through revolve around portfolio analysis. So what we're going to do first is we're going to generate a portfolio. So this could be a client's existing portfolio from another firm, or it could be perhaps a model portfolio that your firm offers. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to generate on the fly a simple risk-based portfolio allocation. So we do this with the risk allocation endpoint in our Proton API. So what this is going to do is dynamically generate a portfolio that conforms to a risk score of 75. That's 75 out of 100, so we're looking at a moderate to aggressive portfolio. So you can see that here. These tickers represent funds in the U.S. market. So we have bonds, emerging market equities, gold, and U.S. equities. And you can see the corresponding weights here. So these securities and weights that we've just generated, we're going to use this as a template as we go through these other tools. So first up is going to be the event study. So this was released in version 1.4 of Proton. So what this is going to do is evaluate our portfolio against some key historical events to see what kind of exposures we have to any similar sort of economic environments that might come up. So you can see a list of the events here that are supported. So these are key financial market events that have happened around the world. So if we go back to our API here, so we're gonna pass in this portfolio that I just generated, and we're gonna see how this behaves during key historical events. So you can see an example here of the 2008 financial crisis. The portfolio went down 22%, and you can see various other statistics. So this is useful if you want to show a client or a potential client how their portfolio would have looked in the past during a big event that everyone's familiar with, such as the financial crisis. So the next tool we're going to look at is called the portfolio what if. So this is sort of a what if analysis of the actual portfolio composition. So what would happen if we change the holding or change one of the weights? So you can pass in, we're going to pass in the portfolio again that we generated as the current portfolio. And then what we're going to do is we're going to replace this ticker EEM, which represents emerging market equities. We're going to replace that with EFA, which represents developed market equities. And we're going to see what kind of impact that this would have. So you can see here, if we were to change the composition in this way, we would expect the return to go down by about 0.5% each year. And you can see here the volatility or the portfolio's risk would increase. So you can use this to analyze, for example, if a client has a portfolio and can't hold a particular security anymore and you have to replace it with something else, you can use this tool to kind of simulate what sort of impact that might have. Next up is the sensitivity analysis. So this is useful for measuring a particular risk exposure that your portfolio might have. So you can pass in a sensitivity factor, which could represent anything in the economy. So it could represent the price of a commodity or a currency or the stock market or anything. So I have an example of that as well. So we're again going to pass in this original portfolio that we created. And what we're going to do is we're going to see how sensitive this portfolio is to SPY, which represents the S&P 500 index in the United States. So we're going to say if the S&P goes up by 1% on a random day, how would we expect our portfolio to respond to that? So you can see here, this portfolio impact measures the expected change in the portfolio's return. So here we're going up about 0.4%. So what this represents is sort of how sensitive your portfolio is to a given factor, in this case, the S&P 500. So you would expect that if this was a larger increase, then we would also have a larger portfolio impact. And then lastly, we have the scenario analysis, which sort of takes this one step further. And instead of analyzing a single factor, you can create entire collections or series of economic factors to simulate a given market condition or economic environment. So as an example, this is good to create sort of stress test scenarios. So for example, here, if we want to look at some sort of global financial downturn where we have real estate, emerging market equities, US equities, and developed market equities all having significant declines at the same time. So we're trying to analyze, what sort of impact does this present to the portfolio that we're holding? So this is a statistical estimate of how our portfolio would perform under these conditions. So you can see that it's expected to fall by 22%. And this also provides sort of a component analysis of each of the individual factors, so you can see which one is causing the most impact in the portfolio. So those are 4 new tools that we've added to Proton, and I'm going to quickly show you how this might look in sort of an onboarding user experience flow. So you can see here, this is an example of onboarding a prospective client, and we're comparing the client's current portfolio that they might bring over from another firm to what our firm recommends. So doing this sort of comparison can obviously create a compelling value proposition to a prospective client. So you can use these tools, for example, the event study, and you can print out side by side these values, and you can say, well, our recommended portfolio is safer in the event of the .com bubble than what you currently hold. So maybe it's a good idea for you to use our recommended portfolio. So you can sort of plug these tools into an onboarding flow to increase the value proposition of your digital wealth business. So, and that concludes my demo.
Thank you, Shane. Okay, we just have a few more demos, and the next one I'm very excited about. It's one of our newest products called Molecule, our enterprise blockchain offering, and I have Nahom, who will be showing you something we've been working on recently, and that's a security token trading platform. So Nahom, I'll let you take it from here.
All right, hey everyone. Showcasing our tokenization platform as part of our Molecule offering. Molecule facilitates not only tokenization, but also identity management, docu-signing, as well as payments, such as invoices. Today, I'll be showcasing our prototype for our tokenization platform. Here you could see that an issuer will be presented this screen. They could put up the token name, their symbol that they wish for their token, a pre-issued supply, as well as a total supply. They could also select the different types of assets that they wish for their offering. So here I'll just put in a company. They also can select different regions, as well as an option for a global offering. The issuer will also be generated at the Ethereum address, but this Molecule is blockchain agnostic, so this only applies to Ethereum. If we our client would go with Ethereum as their preferred blockchain. So we'll go next. So next, an issuer would be able to select the pairs that they want for their asset. They could choose from different fiat currencies as well as cryptocurrencies. Here we'll just go with US dollar. They could also add more pairs in the future if that's preferred for them. They could also select the start date, end date, also choose what funds that they want to go with for their offering. They could either go with fiat and a cryptocurrency. They could also choose their soft cap and hard cap dividends if their region is compliant, if it's compliant with their region, as well as funding rounds. We aim to keep this product very robust and open to be very compliant with multiple regions. You could also choose the different restrictions, again, for compliance reasons, lockup periods, also uploading any supporting document that the custodian will review once an issuer is finished with this process. Also signature, an agreement, most likely a custodian will customize that. Now, once the issuer submits all documents, as well as information for their token, custodian will review it. If everything checks out, the custodian will hit the Molecule API, upload all information, and that information will process to our smart contracts. Once that is done, the issuer will go to this screen. They'll be presented with a dashboard of their current and see like analytics for their token, current funds raised. They could also manage their token via control panel, see top investors, as well as token distribution. Now on the user side, when an investor wants to invest into a certain token, they'll be presented with the screen. Depending if the the issuer puts restrictions such as accredited investor, they would have to go through that. If they aren't an accredited investor, they won't be eligible to create an account. And also, basically the basic questionnaire for accredited investors, investment experience, risk questionnaire. Also, they'll be able to choose different accounts that they wish to open, whether it would be an individual, business, or trust. Again, they would go through basically the general information, their PPI, employment information. Also, again, back to the accredited investor, as well as accredited investor restriction. They would be asked to ask this question if they know somebody in a financial company or a public company. And yeah, their account would be created, funded. We would have a Plaid integration where they could just pull their information and instantly fund their account. So they would go to the dashboard. They would see their portfolio, their current holdings, whether it be commodities, real estate, art, and again, more commodities, as well as their cash balance. So they would go to the exchange where they would see a screener for all tokens. Now, for companies specifically, to ensure that it's not confused with the current stock, the actual stock for the company, all companies would have a T at the end of the symbol to ensure nobody gets confused with the actual stock. Again, for the screener, an investor could choose from art, real estate, commodities, as well as mutual funds. When they wish to purchase any token, they'll be presented with the screen. They would see how the asset is doing, the terms, current news profiles, current owners, as well as the standard price circulating supply. Now, if they wish to buy, they'll be presented with the screen, choose their funding method, choose how many tokens they wish to purchase. Then they could go to their wallet, see how much, see their balance, as well as send and receive the tokens and transfer ownership via the blockchain to another account. Back to the exchange. Now, if someone wanted to participate in a mutual fund, they would be presented with the screen, see how many what's in this fund. Again, the terms, profile, and yeah. Going back to the wallet. Going back to the wallet, you will be able to manage a fiat balance, as well as your crypto, as well as and transaction history. Again, thanks to the Plaid integration, you could have your bank information already pulled up. You could fund your account. You could also choose if you wish to deposit weekly or just once. And yeah, we built a pretty robust product with this offering. Soon we wish to integrate identity management, docu-signing into this platform. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this demo.
Okay, thanks, Nahom. So that was our molecule product. And again, this could be used with Atom, which is most of the demos we've showed you already have been surrounding the Atom, which is the more off-chain centralized building financial applications. So this would, as you've seen, work very well with that platform and uses some of the same functionality and some of the Nucleus functionality, but with some blockchain components. So we're very excited about this new product. So we just have a few minutes left here, and we have two quick demos on the business side. The first one will be Kevin, and he's just gonna explain very briefly for anyone on the phone or on the screen share right now or in our office who is potentially interested in becoming a partner and implementing or selling the hydrogen platform as a solution. He's gonna explain that to you. So Kevin, you could take it away.
Thank you for the introduction, Matt. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin. Thank you for joining. I will be introducing you to the Hydrogen Partner Certification Program. So to get right into it, I'd like to give a shout out to our partners across the globe who are currently certified and are in the process of becoming certified. We built this program a couple months ago with the #1 goal being to educate our partners on how to implement hydrogen's technology. But as you can see here, there's a few other key benefits to becoming certified. One being that it's completely free. It gives your clients and our clients the peace of mind knowing that you are well versed on hydrogen's technology. And it gives you the marketing ability to do that as well. And it also gives hydrogen the peace of mind to refer business to consultancies who are certified with us. We are more apt to refer business to a hydrogen certified partner than those who are not. I'll give you a rundown of the two different types of certifications. The first one being the business certification. As you can see, there's 3 different lesson plans: company overview, solutions and use cases, and the technical basics. We give our partners 2 weeks to complete the certification. The business one takes about 2 hours to complete. Read through all the different lesson plans. Each lesson is filled with different resources, decks, educational materials, online links to learn about each section. After you read through the educational materials, we supply you with an exam, and depending on the different program you're in, you'll be supplied with a final project with the business certification, a taped 60-second elevator pitch selling hydrogen to a sample client. The phases are quite simple. You're delivered the educational materials, scheduled a deadline with exam date. After you review all the materials, you pass your exam, take your final project, and then you are certified. The technology certification is broken down into 2 tiers, one for developers and one for architects. The developer program is outlined as you can see. It's a little more time intensive. 4 hours is the average amount to go through everything. You have a 2-week deadline, 4 different lesson plans as you can see, one being entity relationships, client onboarding, savings and investing, orders and rebalancing. To get certified, you also have an exam and a final project of developing a sample app on hydrogen. The architecture program is laid out here as you can see. Same time frame for the developer program, lesson 1 architecture, 2 authentication, 3 deployment and configuration. If you'd like to learn more, please contact us at partner@hydrogenplatform.com. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Okay, thanks, Kevin. Thanks, everyone. And last but not least, we just want to do a very quick summary. And so you saw a lot of really great features. You might be saying, okay, how can I use those in a real world example and some real use cases? So a few members of our growth team are just going to briefly show you some potential solutions for our products and how you can leverage them in your organization. So I'm gonna have Eric take it over from here, and we'll get things wrapped up after that.
Hey everyone, this is Eric Stepansky on the growth team. I'm here with Roland Hillard. He will take you through some demos. I will take you through a high-level overview of the solutions that are possible on hydrogen. Let me just get this up and running. Perfect. So we're looking at a slide here that takes you through our 4 primary verticals. These are investing, savings, wellness, and insurance. Whether you're building a specific product or looking for more of a digital transformation, when you build on top of hydrogen, you're able to scale and bring together siloed solutions because of our core value add. So using one set of APIs. Given our expertise and domain experience in investing, we are able to provide a lot of value in this specific vertical. This includes robo and hybrid advice. Our APIs are able to identify what the client needs, what the end user needs, introduce them to an advisor or take them through a more self-directed workflow. We also focus on thematic investing and high net worth solutions. On the savings side, goals-based is a quite popular solution and use case that comes to us. Wellness will go through PFM, budgeting, financial health, and planning tools. And then insurance, especially over the last 12 months, has become a very core vertical for us that can leverage our Nucleus APIs specifically. We cover annuities, life insurance, and PNC currently, with a lot of other conversations taking place. In terms of our go-to-market, and the solutions we offer, we try to cover the 3 major market segments that come to us. This includes folks with current workflows that need more embeddable widgets that help engage their end clients and increase usage for the workflow that they already have. Other folks come to us and they need something more out of the box, more white label product that has a bit of customization available, specifically on UI, UX, and backend integrations. But we do offer some out of the box solutions that can get you to market quickly. And then our core value in terms of the modular APIs on the platform, customized workflows, digital transformations, attacking specific opportunities that you have as companies and teams. As far as embeddable widgets, Sabih covered a good amount of this. These are some calculators and other tools that increase engagement. There's little to no coding necessary. They are embeddable into current workflows, as Sabih mentioned, mortgage, major purchase, savings, retirement calculators, tools like this. On the white label side, you are able to customize the UI, UX. a bit, and then obviously the backend integration. So for an investing application, you would be able to customize the broker-dealer or custodian option that you choose. Customized workflows, digital onboarding. This is where we provide the most value. Again, customizable in terms of the integrations from a financial standpoint, broker-dealers, custodians, as well as an operational standpoint, CRMs and other operational tools that you would need. So from dozens of different workflows to hundreds of component solutions, there's a myriad of possibilities when you're building on top of Hydrogen. We've gone through a lot of these today. On the financial advice side, insurance, the calculators, as mentioned, the list goes on and on. We will share this with anyone who's interested. Lots of tools that help end users make decisions. So anything that you're looking to take advantage of in terms of a business opportunity, we would be happy to discuss. Roland will now take you through some visualizations that show you examples of what we're talking about.
Hi, everyone. So I'm just going to walk you through an example of a financial wellness app that can be built with Hydrogen. So this is the start page, and the user would sign into their account. They'd verify using the Hydro app, hopefully. Next, we can leverage a Plaid integration to instantly link their bank account. So we can go ahead and do that. And that can be done for a variety of different accounts. So as you can see here, this user would be brought to their dashboard where there's a number of accounts and different metrics that they can view. For example, their credit card balance, their total assets and debts, their net worth. They can track that here graphically. They can also view where they stand in terms of meeting their financial goals. So this is how much they're contributing towards retirement monthly. And this is the balance of their mortgage that they'd hope to pay off. Here we can see a little budgeting widget. So they can view, for example, groceries, they're over 74 pounds. And then a wellness score. So this is very important. It's judged by a number of values, for example, emergency savings, credit card balance, health coverage, and other loan balances. And these are the values that are available, excuse me, to on this person's account. And it's broken down here. And we can also make a suggestion. So if you'd like to recalculate and see if your wellness score has improved, you can enter a number of different spending values, for example, housing expenditure, food expenditure, and this calculator can be leveraged to figure out how much you need for 1 month emergency savings and 6 month. And yeah, that's basically an overview of our a potential wellness app that could be built using Hydrogen.
Okay, thanks, Roland and Eric. As I mentioned, there are quite a limitless number and menu of possibilities here that you could build with our APIs. We're happy to chat with anyone after this demo. As mentioned, we do these quite regularly just to keep our clients and partners updated on all the interesting and really creative ways that we're really moving the financial industry forward and putting out very powerful tools to help you build financial applications both on and off the blockchain. So I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. If anyone has any questions, please send us email, partner@hydrogenplatform.com. Thank you and have a great day.